and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing a Nintendo Switch collection update. Before I fully get into this video, I just want to say I'll apologise for both the lighting and if you can hear a sort of weird noise in the background. That's because I think the washing machine downstairs is on, and that's so that's the thing. So first of all, we have here the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, even. So it's like basically Binding of Isaac, like how it was on previous games consoles. I've actually compiled all of my games as well that I've got for my Nintendo Switch, at least physically anyway. You know, in terms of like, so the first one I ever got is at the bottom, the most recent one I've purchased is at the top. So as such, you know, Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, it's the most recent game I paid for, and or bought. It was 30 quid, I think, which is brand new, which I think's cheap, one for a Switch game, but also a full-fledged indie game, physical, and with all the DLC and stuff included. You know, it's just phenomenal. In the inside even, you know, you've got the game cart, of course, but you also got, I also got a coloured manual, which is a rarity with video games now, and you also get, you know, the story of Binding of Isaac told in the, on the back of the thing as well as a coloured manual, which is just amazingly cool, and that you also got some stickers as well, and I think in the American release you got a small little poster as well. Unfortunately the UK release didn't include the small little poster, which is a shame, and then yeah, you get the game. I've been playing a bit of it, or quite a bit of it. It's basically Binding of Isaac. It's basically the original Legend of Zelda game, sort of dungeon crawler type, you know, the original one on NES, but imagine that mixed with sort of the aesthetic of Super Meat Boy. So yeah, really interesting, really, yeah, different type of game on the Switch. You know, it ticks two boxes for most people, hopefully, which is that one, it's a third-party game of sorts, and also so a non-Nintendo game. And unfortunately the only one I have in my collection, physically at least, but it's also a very violent video game, so you know, so it ticks two boxes there, in terms of the fact that, you know, most people's criticism with Nintendo is that they don't have any third-party games, and or games that aren't, you know, just for kids, you know. Talking about games for kids, Super Mario Maker, Odyssey even, Super Mario Odyssey, phenomenal game, of course. You know, I pre-ordered it with the Cappy, so I have Cappy the hat as well, which is fucking cool. You know, there's nothing I can say that that other people haven't already said for me. You know, it's just a phenomenal game. I think personally for me, I would say I prefer something like Mario Odyssey over, say, Breath of the Wild, personally, just because I think it's a franchise, or a franchise that I don't know, like, when I think of Nintendo, I think of Mario, and I think, you know, I think I personally have a bit more of an affinity with Mario, not a massive one, but more so with, say, his games over, say, Legend of Zelda games. Granted, I've not played a lot of Mario games, but this game is just sensational, you know, and I don't see myself getting all of the Power Moons, unfortunately, but I'm enjoying it, and just discovering stuff is just such a joy, you know. Going off the beaten path is such a joy. It's probably a lot more sort of boxed in contrast to Breath of the Wild, but I know why that is, but it's still fairly open world-esque, or it's more of a sandbox game, whereas Breath of the Wild is an open world game. Breath of the Wild is aimed at more sort of teens, young adults, and adults. This is just appeals to everyone, hence the reason why it won the you know, best family game for the Game Awards. You know, well deserved. Mario Odyssey, a phenomenal game. Splatoon 2, which you know, I've nearly sunk 100 hours into. I'm at 70, I think, hours last time I checked. You know, just a phenomenal game, just more of the same, really, which might be bad to some people, but obviously this is the same person who's sunk 200 hours into the original Splatoon on Wii U, so yeah, it's not surprising that I've almost spent 100 hours on this game. Phenomenal game, free updates, loads of weapons, new stages, old stages. We're gonna get a new stage. They've moved the level cap to from 50 to 99, and then there's even like a little prestige thing, like in sort of Call of Duty, but with these little stars. There's a new game mode in ranked battles, so they are trying to make it a bit more than the original one, but it's still got that really good balance. It still feels like the original one, but as time is moving on, hopefully it will feel more like a fleshed out package, or just more like a full-on sequel. Next we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Phenomenal kart racing game, one of the best Mario Kart games to date, really. Just a sensational game, with all the DLC included, battle mode included, new characters, all the DLC, just, the fact that I can just take the Switch to college and play a game with someone at college is just insanity, quite frankly, just sensational, And Breath of the Wild, well, that won Game of the Year, and do I really need to say anymore? I mean, as I said before, I don't really have an affinity, an emotional connection to the franchise, but even so, that being said, someone like myself who is currently on a games design course, I respect this game for the technological feat it is, and I think the reason why, say, this won, Breath of the Wild won over Mario Odyssey, is because Mario Odyssey is like a greatest hits of everything that's made 3D Mario games great. So, you got 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and then, 3D World, it's like all of those, Galaxy 1 and 2, Sunshine, 64, and 3D World, all 5 of those games, all culminated into one game, but that's it, it's, don't get me wrong, it's a phenomenal game, and I think, again, it is like all of the greatest hits of 3D Mario games, so that's brilliant if you're any bit a fan of 3D Mario games, but the thing is, this redefined what a Legend of Zelda game could be. It's not like anything we've seen before from the Legend of Zelda series, and for that, I think, and yet still it can be called Legend of Zelda, that in itself is fucking mind-boggling. The fact that it's so different in aesthetic and gameplay and the way it, you can use like the physics of the game and the mechanics of the games related to physics and all manner of stuff, and it's a lot more westernized, like say Skyrim-esque, but with the sort of legacy and mythology of Legend of Zelda behind it. I can see why it's referred to as one of the best games of all time now by a lot of people, or it got lots of 10 out of 10s, if not people's best game of all time. People at least say it's got 10 out of 10. It's in their top 10, if not the best game. It's definitely up there, and I think that's why, so yeah, I mean, I haven't played a lot, and that's just me though. But yeah, that's my collection so far, and I hope it continues to grow. I've also got 2 indie games called Graceful Explosion Machine, which I really like and have enjoyed playing a lot of that. And then another one that I regret kind of buying, if I'm being completely honest, called Goner. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe.